emotional aspects of yoga. When we get in touch with the mind-body connection, the nervous system often presents us with the feelings that are current or that maybe we haven't looked at for a while. And sometimes you might push those feelings away. Like even in the midst of this whole thing that we're dealing with, other things are happening to all of us, ups and downs, feelings, and sometimes it's sort of a feeling of dread or defeat or sadness, even depression. You know, it could be like, this is dragging on. As Nancy mentioned, there's so much uncertainty about the next steps, what's coming, what's it going to be like. And there's, I don't know, for me anyway, I feel a sense of loss. And it's not about the stuff, it's about the connections that we had in our other life, you know, where we could see each other, hug each other, go do things with each other, sit and talk at a restaurant, with, cafe, and experience things together in community. So and even now, sitting in the studio by myself, I really want you all to be here. And I'm loving that I can see your faces, but it's not the same. But I'm very much appreciative of you being here, and I hope it continues, because this is the only evening class right now, and we really want it to be strong and to continue. It's an opportunity for us at the end of the day to unwind. All the other classes are in the morning, and I like to offer you this opportunity at the beginning of the week to catch your breath and set this tone for the week of mindfulness, self-care, and self-compassion, really. So when we are doing yoga, oftentimes we do sense, if we pay attention and turn inward, things may present themselves. And it's an opportunity for us to be with it and sort of know it. And if you know it, then the next time this may come up, it'd be less intense, perhaps. So to understand what's happening, what you're dealing with, we're all humans, and we all have the same challenges, and then other people have, we have different challenges, but we have the challenge of surviving, right now. And I'm sure you all also feel the collective sadness in the world, other people that are suffering so much worse, so much, and that, how do we help? Well, we can send loving kindness, metta to everyone, we can pray, we can donate money, do whatever we can, but really, this is a time for yourself to start with self-care, extreme self-care, to really make sure that you're okay. So in that way, you can continue to have the resilience you need for the next unexpected thing. That it could be, who knows, maybe there's going to be a spike in the infection rate, and we're all going to start walking into a place for the first time. You're going to feel anxiety, or you're just going to say, hey, this is great, you know yourself, you know how it's going to affect you to, take those steps, and try to do it in a way that's safe and confident and so forth. So anyway, I wanted to mention that in the practice tonight, it's a very slim little crescent, waning crescent moon tonight. But I love the moon salutation. It's a series of wonderful poses, standing and forward bends, and it's not vigorous, it's relaxing, and then we'll have time after that to relax. But the moon salutation is very, sort of, you go through the whole body, upper body, lower body, stretching, beautiful stretches, and this Friday is then going to be the new moon. So I know in my meditation class, the new moon represents starting over, fresh. Like, okay, commit yourself now to just letting go and then moving forward and whatever you want to start over, it could be anything. So tonight we'll honor the moon, and if you think about it Friday night, that it's the new moon, so it might be a time to reflect on what is going to be new for you in this next phase, and how are you going to embrace it. That makes sense? So as we sit here, I'm going to have us on our back in a moment, but I just want to sit up tall. Feel your sitting bones grounding down, the length of your spine increasing as you reach up through the crown. And bring your shoulders up to your ears and roll them back and down. This is always a good thing to do during the day too, if you take a work break or a stretch break. Inhale, bring your shoulders up and stretch. And then begin to breathe into it. Inhale, exhale. Start to really unload the burdens. And then bring the shoulders up and forward to see how that feels, if that feels good. Sometimes we're like this all day long, so it feels better to roll them back. As these muscles shorten at the top of the rib cage. And then bring your chin down to your chest and feel the stretch in the back of the neck, and move your chin side to side. Maybe it's just an inch or two, or maybe it's over toward your shoulder. Breathing in and out, noticing how that feels. Begin to let go, let go, let go, and then come back up. And then dipping your ear toward your right shoulder. It might feel so tight on the side there. I know that make slight little movements, maybe even little circles. Just allow yourself to feel the tightness. And then bring your head back up, pause, and then dip the left ear to the left shoulder. Take a deep breath and sigh it out. And then come back up. We have a lot more work to do there, but at least that's a start, just to feel a little bit looser. So I'm going to have you come down onto your back for some three-dimensional breathing. And if you can, one thing, I have a block. If you have a blanket or something and you would like to elevate your hips in a supported bridge, see how that works. If you find either a couple books or a cushion, a couch cushion, or something just to bring the hips up off the floor. And then let your shoulders, now this is going to be good because it opens up the top of the chest, the shoulders fall back down to the floor. Let your neck be long, move your head side to side, just see how it feels. And let your feet feel the floor beneath them. And you can either move your feet apart and let the knees touch each other, or you can just leave them as they are, right in line with your hips. And then bring your hands to your abdominal area and just give yourself a little rub. Feel the lower body, the mid solar plexus area, and then all the way up to the top of the chest. So be aware of the whole front of your body here, the heart and lungs, that whole system there. And we're going to bring our awareness to the breath. And the rib cage is protecting your heart and lungs very nicely. And so take a nice deep breath in through the nose and feel the breath coming into the lungs. Diaphragm presses down and belly rises. that muscle of the diaphragm. It goes from a dome to a inverted dome, and then exhale, let it come back. Each time you breathe in, see if you can make it just a little bit fuller and longer breath. Relax your jaw and your forehead. So we'll do the yoga 3-part breath. We'll feel the belly. And exhale. And on the next breath, you feel the rib cage. Notice the belly and the ribs expanding. And then exhale, let them come back down. And then you can place your awareness up toward the top of the chest and inhale all the way up as if you could fill from the bottom all the way to the top, up to the neck. That means the 3 parts of the lungs, the middle, the top, and the bottom are filled and stretching. Exhaling any stale air from the day, breathing in fresh air coming in, what am I saying? Breathing like the whole capacity of the lung is being engaged. Sometimes we only breathe in the top part. So feeling the breath from the bottom to the top is one dimension. The 3D involves 2 other dimensions. So just you can bring your hands to the side of your rib cage if that's comfortable, and feel the breath coming side to side, like between the sides of your body. So you feel your ribs spreading out on either side. And then coming back down, like a little bit like an accordion. If you want to layer on the ocean sounding breath, this is a good time to do that too. Letting the sides of your body from the armpit down to the hip joint soften and spread like you water. Just let it open to the sides. Take a moment to ask yourself how you're feeling right now. And then bring your awareness from the front of the body to the back of the body. Your back is not on the floor, but your shoulders are. Imagine you could feel the body expanding from the front to the back. As you breathe in, your back sort of reaches down and your front reaches up and then comes back. And now let's imagine we can breathe in all 3 dimensions, from the bottom to the top, side to side, and front to back. Allow yourself to watch and feel. Breathing in all 3 dimensions at once. A relaxed effort, no straining. while you're continuing to breathe, I just wanted to read this poem. It's called "The Door is Always Open." Fear, pain, dark moods, despairing moments, and plentiful distractions. The human drama plays through me as it always has, with one abiding difference. Knowing what I am, opens a door to truth. Sometimes I step across that threshold and sometimes I don't. But the door is always open. So now as you are still on your block or your elevated hips, or not, you can take your block away. Bring your legs up overhead, press up through the heels, and just let your legs be suspended in the air and circle the ankles in both directions, taking your time. Going in, you can even point and flex. Notice what feels nice or what might be tight. Feet are being walked on all day. And then bring your feet back down to the floor and lift your hips up off the floor in bridge and slide whatever it is under you away. Take a deep breath, press your feet in, hold the bridge, and then lower it down. Now making contact with your low back and the floor. Big breath. I'm going to do a little spinal rocking here, pressing toward the tailbone with your pelvis, and then exhaling, pressing toward the waist. Inhaling so that your hips are shifting, rocking front to back. Just like hinging at the hips, but trying to aim for those two spots, the tailbone, which creates an arch in your back, and then the waist, which flattens your back against the floor. Inhale, exhale. Do this at your own pace. And notice if anything is happening there in terms of tightness, emotion, feeling. Pause in the middle and rest for a moment. And then bring your arms out to the side. Feel your shoulder blades on the floor. Begin to move your knees side to side. This little twisting motion should start feeling really good after a few movements here. But make sure that your range of motion is appropriate for your body today. And your feet can be positioned closer or further apart. Take a moment to notice your gaze. Look in the opposite direction of your knees. Getting the neck now moving There's your breath. Notice if you're coordinating your breath and your movement. And then bring your knees back up to the top and draw them into your body, giving yourself a hug. Feeling a nice stretch. Take a breath as you exhale, press. Inhale, the legs will move a little bit away, and then exhale, draw them in. And you can also bring your head up and come into a little crunch, and then back down. Notice how that feels. Nice stretch. See, imagine you can stretch all the vertebrae. Good. And then now stretch your legs all the way out onto the floor. And notice how you feel, how your back is, the rest of your body. And then bring your feet up onto the floor and roll over onto your side. And come back up to seated. See if you feel a little bit more centered. Spending time in your body with your breath, and then coming up to a standing position very slowly and mindfully. So the mountain pose is a really good pose for feeling grounded. Feel your feet hip distance and parallel. Knees are soft. Pelvis is neutral. Rib cage lifted, sternum lifted. Reach your fingers toward the floor and your crown toward the ceiling. See if you can gaze straight ahead at something. And be aware of your body in perfect alignment. I happen to be looking out the window at the tree. And then bring your arms up overhead into the full mountain pose. Deep breath. And then lower your arms down slowly. So let's see, for the shoulders, let's do a few more things. So we did roll the shoulders. If we could bring your right arm up in front of you and bring it across your body and catch it with your left. This is a nice shoulder stretch. So as you do this, continue to breathe and feel the stretch happening with the breath. Keep your head over your shoulders, not leaning back. And you can even lift your arms up a little and bring your right hand on top of your back. It's a little deeper stretch, a little bit different area of your shoulders, your rotator cuff muscles. And then release and come to the other side. Arm sweeps across, catch it with your right. Breathe and hold the stretch. once again, you can lift the arms up, bring the left hand on top of your back, hold the stretch. Try to relax into it. And release. Release your arms and bring them behind you and clasp them, reaching back, opening up the top of the chest. And then pressing your knuckles back. Taking a deep breath. And then just begin to fold forward a little bit, reaching so that you can do this yoga mudra pose by bringing your chest down towards your thighs, but lifting your hands up behind you if it works. And as you continue to breathe, press the knuckles up to the sky and let yourself release down. On the exhale, just relax forward. Maybe your hamstrings are tight right now, which mine are, and so bend your knees deeply when you need to and if you need to. And then slowly come up with your arms still extended. And release your hands. And just let your arms be floaty. Good. So this is the moon salutation is a flow, but I like to take one posture at a time and then link them together. So I'm going to bring myself to the center of the mat. So the first pose of the moon salutation. Now remember, when we're using our arms, we sort of imagine tracing the shape of the moon. So bring your arms up in mountain pose, like a big full moon. That's the first position. The second position is to go into a half moon pose. So let's go over to the right, reaching, pressing both feet into half moon to the right, up to the center, and half moon to the left. And when you do half moon, press the hip out away from you, and then come up. So those are the first two. Just bring your arms down for a moment. So the first part is big full moon, half moon to the right, up to center, half moon to the left, up to center. And now we're going to step our feet apart wide and come into 5-pointed star. So you feel this wonderful position where you're opening up the body, the whole body. Arms out at shoulder height, if that works for you. If your shoulders are difficult today, you can keep your arms by your side. But imagine energy sparkling from your fingers and toes. So this is a nice position right here. So we're going to now lean over to the right, sliding that right hand down the side of the body, coming back up, sliding it to the left. Nice stretch along the side body, and then up to the top again. So now we're going to point our toes away from the center line, bend the knees and the elbows, come into Devyasana, the goddess pose. So this is the next position. And then coming back into 5-pointed star. The next pose is a nice wide angle forward bend. So just feel your hips hinging and come all the way down. Float down to the floor with your hands, if you can, reach the floor. Take a deep breath and let go. Move your head left to right. Nod your head. Make sure your neck is nice and loose and released. And the next position is to take let's take your right hand in the middle of the floor here between your arms, and then sweep the left arm up into a twist. Bring that arm down and sweep the right arm up into a twist. Bring that arm down, relax for a moment, and then bend your knees and bring your hands onto your thighs and come all the way up into Devyasana again. Straighten your arms and legs, side stretch to the right, side stretch to the left. Coming back up to center, step your feet together, arms up, half moon to the right, half moon to the left, all the way up, palms together, come down in front of the heart. So that's one round of the moon salutation. So we did each one individually. So with doing this, we can then, maybe it brings up a little bit of heat, right? Because you're forward bending and stretching. But before we go into the next cycle, let's just do some standing swinging twists to make sure that you're warmed up for that twist we just did. We already did it, but you know what I mean. So just let your arms flap. And then let's do one round of breath of joy. Inhale to the side, inhale overhead, exhale, ha, and then come back up again. Okay, so now we're going to take it. I'm going to try to be less, I'm going to try to give you the cues but not talk too much. So we can just try to focus yourself on your experience in the moon salutation. Inhale, arms overhead. Half moon to the right. Center, left. Center. 5-pointed star. Side bend. Side bend. Goddess, star, forward fold, sweep your left arm up and twist, come back, right arm, back, bend your knees, come up with a flat back into goddess. 5-pointed star. Whoops, sorry. Side bend. Side bend. 5-pointed star. Feet together. Half moon to center. Half moon to center. Palms come down in front of the heart. So pause here and notice how you feel. Does that feel good? Or do you want to go at a faster pace? Or do you want to go at a slower pace? I think this is, if you want to get in touch with feelings and emotions intentionally, which I think is good at this time, healthy, that going at a slower pace and let it be, feel the pose, not rush through it. So let's do it 2 more times. Mountain, half moon, five-pointed star, side bend, reach, star, Devyasana, star, float down to forward fold. Deep breath. Right hand to the floor, left arm sweeps up. Left arm comes back down. Right arm sweeps up. Turn the torso, look up, come back. Take a deep breath, bend the knees. Let the tailbone be heavy coming into goddess pose. 5-pointed star. Side bend to the right. Reach. Other side. Step feet together, arms up. Half moon. Half moon. Palms come down in front of the heart. Deep breath. Feel where the energy is moving in your body. Notice where you feel tingling or sensation. Inhale. Half moon. Half moon. Press out to the hip. Reach to the top. 5-pointed star. Shoulders down. Side bend. Back to star. Bend the knees, bend the elbows. Let the tailbone sink. Straighten the arms. Take a deep breath. Feel length in the spine and then float forward down to the floor. Deep breath in, 3 breaths. Right hand to the floor. Left arm sweeps up and around. Rotate the torso and look up. Left arm down, right arm up. Right arm down. Deep breath. Bend the knees. Press up into goddess. 5-pointed star. Side bend. This time really reach. Press that foot in, the edge, outside edge of the foot, and reach. Cross the ear. Open up the whole side of the body and then other side. See how after you do it a few times you have even more length. You can open even more. Then come back up to 5-pointed star. Bend your knees and step your feet together. Arms come overhead. Half moon to center. Half moon. Center. Palms come down. Pause for a moment. Close your eyes. Release your hands and make your way back down to the floor. Sit for a moment. See if anything is happening. I feel that a flow is a good way to sort of move stress through the body. So bring your feet, soles of your feet together and let the knees slowly come up and down, opening up the muscles of the groin and the inside of the leg. your feet come apart and stretch out in a V. Maybe just make sure that your sitting bones are connected, nice and tall. Wiggle your toes. Just check in with yourself, see how you're feeling. And then bring your hands in front. And now with a tall spine, the crown of your head lifted. Walk your hands forward just a couple inches. Keep your spine elongated, your head and neck in line with your spine. Let your shoulder blades come down your back. And try to relax. Just get to the level of sensation that is just a little bit beyond, just like a little bit of an edge to it. So maybe that means you move your fingers a little bit further. Take a deep breath and once again extend, keeping your heart reaching forward. Pressing out through the heels and actually letting the feet, legs rotate out a little bit. And then just allowing yourself to roll down now, rounding the back or wherever you are. And take some deep, full breaths. Just let yourself surrender to what is. Knowing that you only have to go inside to know who you are, whole, complete, and divine. To open that door, to say, okay, I've got this. Let's bring that left foot in and turn toward the right leg and walk yourself forward into a stretch on this side, initially reaching forward with your back straight and then lowering down, rounding the back. Walking yourself back up the leg and place your left hand on your right leg and your right hand behind and just move into a gentle twist. See if you can move just a little bit more, looking over your right shoulder. And then unwind back to center. Ooh, that feels good. So then now release. So you may get, in yoga, you could get sensations that are euphoric. You've all probably experienced that, where something lets go. Some deep-seated tension, and you feel, that was good. That was, whew. So that's one of the goals, is to relieve stress, but also to get in touch with what's happening for me. What do I need to do for myself to take care of myself? So turning now toward the extended left leg, take a deep breath, walk yourself forward, coming into a stretch over that leg. And then allowing yourself to round down, shoulders round forward, wherever you feel you can hold on to your foot, your ankle, knee. Take a deep breath and let go. Deep breath. through your mouth. You can also breathe through your nose, but sometimes it's good just to let out some energy, some negative energy, whatever, toxic energy. Anyone's been piling things on you. And then bring your right hand to the outside of your left leg and your left arm behind you. See if you can square your shoulders. Take a breath and just turn into a gentle twist. And then slowly walk yourself back to center. And bring your legs out straight. Just bounce them out a little bit. So we're going to come down onto our backs again. So bring yourself now on your back. See how that, we did some stretches there with the moon salutation. There was some good strong back movements there. So let's do a windshield wiper our knees to release anything that's tense in the low back. And once again, bring your knees in toward your body and stretch. Let's bring the left leg all the way down to the floor and bring the right knee in only. And then feel the psoas muscle on this side deep in the body. Press out through the heel and anchor the leg. And now change sides. Find your breath. This is a good time to feel your breath on the back of the body against the mat. And I think it's nice to do pigeon pose right here. So pigeon on the back, bring the right ankle on top of the left leg, right below the knee, on the top of the leg. And if this suits you, you can stay right here. Or you can reach through the leg, draw your legs up as a unit. Your hands can be clasped behind your hamstring or on your shin. Close your eyes. Feel the sensation. What is your hip saying? Make any micro movements, maybe tiny circles or side to side movements to enhance your experience. To deepen it, or to let go, to back off. That's the exploration of the yoga stretch. Release your hands, bring your foot to the floor and switch sides. Both feet on the floor and then left ankle on top of the right thigh. Take a moment to let the hips settle and then reach through and bring it up if that suits you. Always listening to your body. Notice if your neck and shoulders are tense, bring your shoulders down. Release the hands, bring your feet to the floor. Place your hands on your belly, and once again, breathe in and out, watching the breath. What's the next best thing I can do for myself? To honor my body's wisdom, to relax and to nourish my brain, relax my emotional state, calm my emotional state. Maybe it's just now, just let your legs come down to the floor in Shavasana, the arms by your side, supporting yourself in any way, something under your knees or under your neck. A blanket over you. And just let go. Right now, you're the most important person in the world to you. You must take care of yourself before you can extend care to others. I'll let you know when to come back. your natural breath. Breathing in and breathing out. Feel the breath spreading through your body like a warm light of gold, like water, healing whatever needs to be healed, nourishing whatever needs to be nourished. Beginning to extend the length of your inhalation and also the exhalation. Just begin to be more aware of your surroundings, of your body on the floor, the feel of your blanket or your clothes on your body. Begin to feel sensation in fingers and toes. If you choose to stay in Shavasana, please be my guest. If you're ready to come to a seated position, rolling on your side first and then sitting. Just in time, Beth is going to unmute you. But first let's bring our hands to prayer position over our hearts. Take a deep breath in, acknowledging yourself and your practice this evening. Close your eyes and bow your head down to remembering to open that door to your true self, where you can go anytime. You're whole, complete, and divine. I honor your inner lights. Namaste.